time gets away from me a little bit. I don't know if it was this week or last week, but there was a news article that you might have heard that we celebrated like the 5th anniversary of the banking disaster. And in those 5 years, not one of the people responsible for that disaster has come to trial, been sent to prison, or been sanctioned. In fact, many of them, while they were relieved of their positions, had such settlement packages that they were walking away with millions and millions of dollars into their retirement. And so having this gospel follow so closely upon that anniversary is sort of appropriate, because we're talking about these people that were trusted in these huge banking institutions to take care of our funds. Didn't. But they made connections within their own industry to protect their own interests, while the rest of us lost homes, lost jobs, had reduced circumstances, and have struggled over the past 5 years just to make ends meet. It's also sort of sad that some of the people they made those connections with are in power today in Congress. And when you look to see what most of our congressmen and senators do when they leave office, they go into representing these big firms in front of their former colleagues. Again, it's scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. We're going to look out for each other in this world. The scriptures tell us today it's not to be like that for we Christians. We're warned in the first reading that God has a very long memory, and that the poor that we're supposed to be taking care of, when we do something to abuse them, he'll remember. He'll remember. But who are the poor? Are we talking just about those with no wealth? Those that need food stamps or health care or community housing or assistance in finding work? Perhaps there are those that are poor in other ways. Maybe they're sitting in nursing homes with no one visiting them. Maybe they're suffering from cancer or HIV/AIDS or some other disease that people don't want to be associated with or around them. Perhaps we're talking about those in the school system that are bullied because they look different, or perhaps their sexual orientation isn't what is considered the norm. All of these are poor among us. And we as Christians are called upon to respond to that in gospel light. And that light calls upon you and upon me to reach out to them in the name of God and to welcome them in. Not just to give a free handout, but to actually give them a hand up, to help them develop the skills that they need, to help them in whatever ways we can develop what they need to develop within their own lives to meet their needs. And sometimes it does indeed mean providing for them for a period of time. The gospel message tells us we cannot serve both God and the world. We have to make a choice. And that choosing to be a disciple of Christ, as I've told you in the past weeks, has a price. That price could be ridicule. That price could be division within our own families. But if we're truly putting God first in our lives, it is a price we must pay. because we want to share an eternal life, not just to get ahead in this world, but to get out of this world and into heaven, to be with God forever. And to do that, we cannot neglect the cry of the poor among us.